YouTube, it's your boy Aydian here. I wanted to make a video because my mother sent me some boxes. She's cleaning out the house and stuff, and she sent me some boxes, and in these boxes was one box that had a bunch of books in it. So it was a mix of my stuff and Jenny Lee's stuff. You know, there was all different kinds of books. So a lot of Jenny Lee's books are like, honestly, books she hasn't even read yet. So in these books, I thought it was really interesting because this was one of my favorite books when I was younger. It's called More Now Again. It's by Elizabeth Wurtzel. I don't know if that's how you officially pronounce her name, but I liked this book because I loved Prozac Nation, which was another book she had written. And it's pretty much just about a woman who has, you know, mental depressions and, yeah, depression. I mean, really intense depression, and like lots of books about depression. Girl Interrupted. I mean, I have highlights in these books too, just like the first highlight I pick up. What I meant was that now I was safe. Now I was really crazy, and nobody could take me out of here. I really felt a connection to depressed people. I felt like my brain was crazy in a way, and I struggled a lot with that, so I found relief in these memoir style books. I also had a funny sense of humor too. Like, if anyone's seen The Brack Show, there's a funny show. Side note. But yeah, so I mean, I was really confused and lost and depressed when I was younger, and I mean, I'm talking all the way from probably ages 11, 12 is probably when I first started feeling like signs of actual depression, and then all the way up until, all the way until I started transition. I went through depression and in and outs and waves, but I remember specifically feeling like there was another voice in my head that didn't make sense to me, that was telling me all these like things that weren't right, and you know, looking back now, it makes so much sense because I had another identity that was true. Like, that other voice was like my true self, like my being telling me that things are not right, things are not right, make them right, make them right. And because of what I was held to believe was supposed to be my life, I thought I was crazy. But now I know that it was really just, I couldn't express myself. I had no means of expressing myself because I was trapped in this body, and I didn't even understand what being transgender really was. I mean, I don't even think I could say I knew the word at all until I was at least 18, 19, when I mean, everyone knew LGBT, right? But like, I never thought of anything past the L, because when you're young and you're figuring out you're a lesbian or you're gay or bisexual or however you're starting to identify, it's exciting, and you surround yourself with those people, and you find other people that you relate to, and it's exciting, and you get to discover yourself and what it is to be you. And when you don't get to do that, you have repressed feelings, and so I didn't quite relate with the lesbians, and I didn't have any transgender friends. I barely had any actual gay male friends. They were mostly all lesbians or straight women. And so once I found being trans, it just like was like bam. And so to look back at these, to be where I am now and to look back at these books is just really strange to me. I mean, strange, yes, but strange no, right? Because it makes a lot of sense now, but it's so weird to put the puzzle together later. You just don't know the ending until it comes, right? One book in particular that really stuck out to me, I always thought, you know, it's called A Bright Red Screen, and it's really not even a book that you would normally read. It's really more for people who are dealing with someone who is using self-mutilation as a tool for their depression or their anxiety or whatever their emotional instability is. So it's really for like doctors or like therapists, or like if you're a mom or something like that and your child is cutting or abusing their body in a way, this would be a good one to use. So I bought this when I was younger, and I bought it from like Borders Online or Noble Books, Barnes and Noble, whatever. And I used to think that when I was a self-mutilator, abuser, cutter, I thought that I was so sly about it. I knew people in my school who were doing it, but they were really loud about it, and they told people about it, and they always had something to say about it, and they brought it up a lot. But I never told anyone. I'm sure people knew, but I always hid it, and I did it in my quiet time, and I hid it on my body, and I didn't tell many people about it really at all. I thought I was so sly, right? I thought I was smooth. But looking back now as an adult, looking at myself as a teenager and young adult, it's like, I bought this book. It just screams, like all these books that I'm reading just scream that I am feeling lost. And it's not like I'm an adult and I'm reading this book or something. And honestly, that an adult could be lost and read this book too, right? But I was reading these books because they connected to me. I felt a connection, and to think that I was that age and reading these books, and not to assume that somebody else didn't think that, you know? So I thought I was smooth, but I really was looking for help. That's what these books were. And I've noticed that a lot of people who are depressed, and they talk about it, and they're really looking for help. They're looking for guidance. And although sometimes it could be annoying when like somebody's always seems to be a downer, they're obviously really not wanting to be a downer because they're expressing their emotions of how they are a downer. So obviously they're trying to get out of that emotion. So if you know anyone who is reading books like this, or expressing to you that they're depressed, or even if they're saying it in a joking manner, like, it probably means something important, and you shouldn't really take it as a joke. And it's so easy, if you are that person who's depressed or cutting or whatever, it's so easy to keep up the motivation, keep up the momentum of, like, sad feelings, because it's easy to have one sad feeling and then continue with another, and another, and another, and another. But it's also really pretty easy to think of, like, a happy thing and then think of other happy things. So I just want to say that if you are upset or depressed or you feel lost, there's many ways that you can get help besides, you know, the obvious, which would be like calling a hotline or going to your local LGBT center, or going to a group, you know, those things that are a little more basic. Like, there are groups online, there are people who are looking for other people to talk to, and you guys can be each other's talk to, you know? It's really important that when you talk to people online that you never know what part of the edge that they're at. So when you talk to someone, you know, if you don't have something nice, just leave it be. And if someone reaches out to you and you don't want to be that person for them, you know, don't fake it till you break their heart, you know? So, I know this video is kind of all over the place, but I'm just trying to show that, you know, I wasn't always a happy guy. And, besides looking in my videos, you can obviously see how I've progressed and changed in my confidence in pretty much my whole life. But I think that these books were before YouTube. They were before I knew who I was, before I was, a lot of people don't find that piece, you know, that missing piece. People don't always find it. And I'm very lucky and grateful to have found it. I want other people to find it too, and it's not always, the missing piece is not always going to be that you're transgender. It's going to be whatever that piece is. Everyone has one, and they all searching for it. And I feel happy that I found one, but it's very obvious I didn't always have one. And I think that if you feel like you don't have one, you can. You really can. So I didn't want to make this video too long or super, like, generic or anything. I'm just trying to say that, like, we don't all start really happy and end really happy. There's like so many waves of up and down, and you have to motivate yourself and remind yourself that whatever low you're at, You know, there could be a high, you know, there really always can. And if you're at a high, you know, be grateful for that, because there could always be a low. And I just want to remind people of that. Yeah, so it's not always going to suck. It can be a lot better. Now that my moment is up, I'm gonna get back to work. Peace. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Also, check me out on all my other platforms, and don't forget to vote!